Alright, gun people, do a crazy cop story here. I just did a video, I'll put a link in the description about Miranda warnings, Miranda versus Arizona. And I mentioned that I had a case of public safety exception. And if you didn't see the other video, in legal terms, we can question somebody without Miranda, without warning them of their rights, if we can claim that there was a public safety issue. So I'm going down the street. You know, I think I was working gangs or guns. I don't remember what task force I was with. That I might have been with auto theft. I don't remember. But I'm going down the street and I see this little thug on his bicycle. A lot of crooks ride bicycles. Everybody be like, "Oh, that's profiling. You can't." Shut up. See a 35-year-old man riding a bicycle around with blue jeans, looking dirty, looking all cranked out, riding his bike, looking over his shoulder, all paranoid. Guess what? His license is probably suspended. He's probably on probation or parole. He's probably got prior arrests for methamphetamine. And when I stop him, he's either going to run or he's going to tell me he's on probation or try and ditch some dope. So, with that philosophy that everybody, that the liberals want you to believe, oh, cops can't do that. That's illegal. That's wrong. Whatever. So I'm going down the street and I see this yokel look like a cranker riding his bike, and he's in a hurry, and he's pedaling, and he's looking around. I'm like, oh shit, he's up to no good. And he's riding on the sidewalk. Remember I talked about before, if cops do something, doesn't matter what their intent is, as long as they're violating the law, I have a right to stop you. Doesn't matter what my intent. My intent was I thought he was on drugs, carrying drugs, or up to some illegal activity or on parole, probation, and was up to no good. Okay, I wanted to talk to him about that. Well, since I can't stop him for no reason, he's riding his bike on a sidewalk, and you can't ride your bike on a sidewalk, you got to ride it on the road. So I was going to stop him for riding his bike on the sidewalk. Of course, I turn around, and because he's all paranoid looking over his shoulder and shit, he sees me. I'm in an undercover car. I don't know if he saw I had my police vest on or not, but I turn around, and so he gets around, he's going through some bushes, I'm kind of chasing, I put out the pursuit, blah, blah, he failure to yield, hit my siren, and he dumps his bike, takes off on foot, which is normal. Everybody runs from the cops because there's no incentive not to. Usually why you're running from the cop is worse than running from the cops. Running from the cops is a misdemeanor. Most people that run from the cops are felons. So why do they care about if they get a misdemeanor tacked onto their felony charges when they got a chance to get away? So he takes off. So I chase him. We go around a few bushes. He wears out. I finally end up catching him, block or so away, get him on the ground, handcuff him, sitting in there. And I know he's lying. He's lying at his ass that he had died. So I get him up. I think I patted him down. Of course, I can frisk him because he just ran from me. He's under arrest. I can search incident arrest. I don't need a warrant. So I pat him down. I don't know if I found a crank pipe or a little Ziploc baggie that they keep cranking or whatever. I'm not sure what I found, but I knew he had dope, and I knew he probably dumped dope. So I'm like, shit, how am I going to get him to confess? So he's sitting on the curb. I'm catching my breath. I'm writing down, have another officer go secure the bike for me. And I think he's going to put it on his patrol car and carry it to the PD. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to get this guy to confess. So I have another unit there, and I said, stay with him, because he wouldn't talk. So I walk away. I got no idea where he dumped the shit. But here's something on the ground right here. Imagine this is a little plastic bag. So I find a little plastic bag on the ground, and I crumble it up like so. And I just have about that much of clear plastic. And all druggies carry their stuff in plastic bag or Ziploc baggies. So I knew this guy probably did, even though I didn't see it. So I go back and I go, dude, you should have told me, man. I wanted to help you out. I said, I found your stuff. And I gave him just a little flash like this. And he looked up and saw the plastic bag. And went, damn. And I said, look, I don't know if you threw more than just this one thing. I found this one thing, so you're going to jail for it. But if you threw more than one thing, I don't want some kid to find it and use it. He's like, no, man, you found everything I threw. That's what I threw. I only had one bag. That's all I threw. I said, well, you know what? To tell me that you're telling the truth, I want you to take me back and show me where I found this. Then I'll know you're telling me the truth in case there's two. He goes, okay, okay. He takes me back and goes, man, I threw it right there by that tree. And he knew where he threw it because he's going to come back and get it later. I said, right there by that tree? He goes, yeah. So I go and I dig through there. I pull out this big old bag. His eyes get about this big, like, what the hell? I was laughing. I was like, dude, you get the stupid criminal award for that. So anyway, needless to say, the defense attorney was all upset. You didn't advise my client on my rights. You questioned him without Miranda. You clearly had him in custody. You chased him. You handcuffed him. You violated Miranda. I said, hey, public safety exception. I knew he threw dope, and if he threw dope, I didn't want some kid to find it and be dead the next day because I didn't do due diligence to try to find the dope. I said, yeah, I questioned him without Miranda because it was under public safety exception. The guy pled to the case. DA gave him a deal, whatever they do, to stop him going to trial, and they pled the case out. So then, I wanted to get to this one agency in California. It's a very liberal, kind of feel-good. I don't want to name the agency because then you might be able to figure out who the guy I'm talking about. And I don't want to dog him too much. He's a nice guy, but he's kind of got an attitude, a small man's attitude. So, this agency, oh crap. Did it just delete my, oh man, I'm going to have to do these by ear. I forgot. I had 3 notes. Alright, well I know this one. So, this agency over here is very, we got to hire women, we got to hire minorities, we got to lower the standard, we don't want to exclude anybody, we got to hire everybody to make sure that we're PC, liberal, correct in the city. So they hire this guy, he's a cop, and he's literally this tall. We used to call him a midget, but I don't think you can say midget anymore. I don't know if he's a little person, because I don't know if there's a height limit. I know with horses, they got to be under so many hands to be a pony, but I don't know what it is with people. I don't know what the limit is. So I called him a midget. So a midget cop. If I had to describe him, it was a midget cop. And he was a white dude. And every time he walked across the curb, his baton, when he stepped up on the curb, would ding against the concrete curb. It's kind of funny. And it's sometimes, when you book somebody in jail, you always have to put your baton, your weapons and stuff in the trunk of your car before you go into jail. And when he would put his stuff in and get it, his little feet would be hanging out the rear of the trunk because he'd be reaching in, kind of falling in to get his stuff. So I know it's mean, I shouldn't, poor guy. Look, I'm just telling you the way it is. The cops find the humor in things. I thought it was kind of funny, you know. Just go with it. So anyway, this guy would, because he had such a little man concept, he was always getting in problems. He would go there with this attitude, and guys would look at him, and you know how people are, especially college kids. They're going to be mean and cruel. Who's this little short cop? Who's a midget cop? What are you going to make me do? Big deal. You got a gun. Look how little you are. I mean, people are going to be jerks. It's a cop field. They're jerks to everybody. They're not just jerks to him because he's little. But we used to have to respond to him a lot because he had that little man, and this is what gives cops a bad name. People who are kind of either insecure in some area in their life, when they get a badge and a gun, they tend to escalate things. And it's the same way with female officers. Female officers will get out there and they will start getting in somebody's face, start treating them bad. And a guy, especially if they're under the influence of alcohol a little bit, don't want to be disrespected by a woman in front of either his homies, his gang members, his family, his wife, whatever. So it makes them want to push back like, hey, you don't have to talk to me that way. Who the hell are you? Just because you got a badge and a gun. And then it escalates and then you got to, help, help. So I forgot the incident I was going to talk about, and I damn erased it on the little. Can I call him a little cop or a little people cop? I don't know. Whatever you call him. So anyway, at the same agency that hires all these women, the second incident is there was a stop and rob. I don't know what it was. 7-Eleven, Circle K, whatever. Some stop and rob on the corner was getting robbed. So, and this lady who was a cop, I shit you not. She would like drive code 3 with her license siren on and go to the speed limit. Woo! Cars be passing her. And she's going code 3 because she didn't want to go to the speed limit. People be like, look man, there's an emergency call. You're turning your license siren. Get there. Haul ass. Cops may need help. She's like, hey, you know, she came into the career field late, a little older. I'm not speeding. I'm not risking my life. I'll turn on the license siren because that's what the policy says. But the policy don't say how fast I got to go. I'm going to speed limit. So, she shows up at this 211. Like most 211s, when the alarm gets tripped, it's usually BS. There's a fight, somebody accidentally tripped it, thinking they're nothing. And I guess another cop, 2 of them got there at the same time. Probably this other cop worked way on the other side of town. She was a block away. They got there at the same time. And shots rang out. Dude comes out of the store and he fires rounds at the cops. What is this PC? We gotta hire women. They're equal. They're just as good as men. Same standard. Blah blah blah. What does she do? Puts her car in reverse, turns around, and leaves. So now this cop's sitting here by himself in a shootout because she left. Could they discipline her? No, that wouldn't be right. Rick, she's a woman, and you know, even though she put other officers at danger, she had to make her own judgment call if a call was too dangerous and she felt it was, that she left, and if she thought it was beyond her means to handle it, she did the right thing. Well, you know, it only takes a matter of time for crap like that till you get a bunch of officers that don't trust anybody but certain people, and then all of a sudden dispatchers know, hey, if I send her, she's either not going to get there, or when she gets there, she's probably just going to leave, so we'll just send her to all the easy BS calls. Hey, somebody left the water hose on, it's running in the neighbors next door, can you go check it out? Sure thing. Let me go check it out. So those are the calls she got. Meanwhile, everyone else is taking the paper for the high-risk calls. That's why I'm not a PC guy. That's why I don't like all this low understanding and hire a bunch of people. This agency was a perfect case study for that. Now, not only did they hire women that were kind of la-la-la, they hired men that were la-la-la. Okay, I know all the rainbow pictures are going to be hating on me now. Just because the guy's gay don't mean he's not a man. Whatever. Shit, I'm just telling you the damn story. So, they had some guys there who were, I don't know, a little light in the shorts, whatever you want to say, and there was one guy that pulled over a white van, and we used to have these detective meetings. So all the detectives would get together once a month, once every other month, and we would sit around with all the agencies, and we'd say, who are we looking for? Because a lot of times we were looking for the same guy, or I'd say, hey, I'm working this case on this auto theft guy who's doing this, or this guy pulled a gun, and supposedly he's using an M16, and this guy would go, hey man, I saw that gun, it's stainless steel box. I go, yeah, he goes, I got a witness that they did a place in my jurisdiction. So it was a way to share information. So we would meet. It was also a way to sit around, drink coffee, and bullshit for 2 hours while we're eating our donuts, but we did share some information and talk. So we're in here, and this guy from this agency goes, we just wanted to pass on a bolo, be on the lookout for this white van. One of our officers stopped it with 5 black males in the car. When he pulled it over, they got out, started yelling at him, told him to get the fuck out of there, and he didn't feel like it was safe, so he left. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm saying everyone else is just like rolling their eyes, but me, I'm like, dude, they let the people go. I said, now when I pull that car over, they're going to think they can do that. They're going to get out on me and either get shot, or I'm going to call for backup, or we're going to be sticking their mail. I said, I'm going to have to use twice as much force now if I stop that same car, because your guys set the precedent that, oh, you know what, if somebody gets out of the car and yells at me, then I should just leave and call it a night. How do you think law enforcement would be if everybody said, hey, if you told the cops to leave and get out of my face, cops had to leave? How effective do you think law enforcement, how safe would you feel in your community when you had cops coming that you knew if somebody told them to leave, they would leave? I mean, it's just stinking ridiculous. But that's how you get into the PC crap. California's bad. I'm sure New York's just the same way. You get into these lower standards. They're trying to get women in the Navy SEALs now. They're trying to get women in the Rangers. Everybody wants to get on the charge that women are equal in force. And all they do when they do that is lower the standard. They make people less safe. They make people, you know, I've worked with a lot of female cops. Some of them were good. A lot of them weren't. But you know what? With most all cops, female cops, when there was heavy work to be done, the males cops had to do it. Or they would get 2 males. Or a sergeant would go, hey man, I need some big things moved. Why don't you and him go? Okay, I don't want to send her. I don't want to get her. And she can't, you know, I mean, they make all, but meanwhile, the women are running around. We're equal. We do the same job. We should get the same pay. We're just as strong. It just drives me nuts. And you really don't realize it or see it until your butt's out there on the line and you're trying to defend yourself, and you've got somebody showing up that if it was a guy, you would probably get help and the fight would be over. But because it's a woman and she turns around and leaves, now you're screwed until another guy can get there. So, those are my stories for that agency, and I wanted to cover that little dope deal since I'm about to post a video on Miranda warning and Arizona versus Miranda. All right, we'll end that there.